Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to WatchYouWant.com. And Merry Christmas Eve. But if, like me, you've been naughty this year, and you expect you might be getting some coal in your stocking, sell that crap off to a shale producer, and use the money to buy this. This is the Rolex Day-Date President double quickset in white gold. Meteorite dial, inset factory diamonds on the dial. This is a watch that is iconic, timeless, and the ultimate power watch. Now, if there's just one flagship through the years, through the decades of the Rolex model line, it's the Day-Date, better known as the President. And it really says something for a watch to be the flagship of the most recognized and coveted line of luxury watches in the luxury watch industry. So what does the best of the best do for you? Well, it does this. First and foremost, it's a timeless style that will never obsolesce. Because in 1956, right off the bat, this watch became the symbol of power, worn on the wrists of junta leaders, presidents, leaders of the free world, dictators, good, the bad, the ugly, but all of them powerful and consequential. And there's a reason that this may be the least changed of the Rolex Oyster models through the years. And that's because Rolex got it right off the bat. Automatic winding, 36mm case, precious metal, generally a fluted bezel, a day and a date, that's it. And that's all you need to make a statement. Because when you have a watch this commanding, you don't have to try too hard. The bottom line is, masters of the universe, you want the double quick set. If you're shopping Day-Dates, you don't want to waste your time because you're busy conquering new horizons and neighboring countries. The bottom line is, in the past, you would have to spin like a top in order to change the day and the date. But now, since 1988, with this caliber 3155 Rolex chronometer movement, you turn it clockwise to change the date, and you turn it counterclockwise to change the day. It's that simple. It saves your time for more important things, again, like world domination. And the bottom line is, Rolex has made incremental changes to the movement, but that style is not just timeless in the sense that it still looks good 30 years later. It's timeless in the sense that from an arm's length, you really can't tell whether this watch was made in the 50s or last year. Rolex doesn't mess with the formula for success with its most iconic dress/power watch. So if you wear this today, chances are it's going to look exactly like the one you would buy 50 years from now. That's how enduring it is. If you want the ultimate heirloom piece, you want a Rolex Day-Date. And if you want the ultimate Rolex Day-Date, you want something like this, an icon that's recognizable from Tokyo to Prague, but at the same time has elements that the next guy with a Day-Date simply won't have. Because it's hard enough to share borders with neighboring world leaders. Share watches? Forget it. So here's what you get. You get a meteorite dial, unique in that the crystalline structure of the iron, this is from the Gambian meteorite harvested by Rolex, carved up into microns thin segments and then treated to preserve it against corrosion. Each one of those segments features the natural crystalline growth of the iron meteorite, and because crystal grows somewhat chaotically in nature, each one has a different cross-hatched pattern of crystal grain, so no two will ever be alike. In a very real sense, this watch is an aesthetic piece unique, but it gets better than that, because the combination of this beautiful silver gray dial with inset brilliant cut diamonds, white gold applied indexes, they're actually minute markers here, white gold hands, white gold frames for the day and date, and the white gold bezel, case, and bracelet make this watch a standout, an extraordinary watch. It has the latest version of the Rolex President bracelet. Now, the President is key because although the watch is known as the President, it's formally called the Day-Date. The only part of the watch that is actually called President by Rolex in their literature is this iconic 3-link alternating polished, brushed, and polished bracelet. It contrasts with the somewhat busier 5-link, almost ribbon of steel that you get with the Jubilee and the Jubilee 2. It's a neater look, and it features this iconic crown clasp mechanism. Now, the crown clasp, you can see the solid milled clasp right here, closes, and unlike the Oyster, it disguises the parting point of the bracelet where it actually opens at the deployant so that it has a seamless look that's very elegant, very upscale. I strongly prefer this to the look of an Oyster clasp just because, hey, I'm not a deep sea diver, I'm not a pilot, and I'm not an engineer. I'd rather have a watch that looks good all the time when I'm using it, the way I use it. So now this watch, because of the unique dial that combines white gold and meteorite and diamonds, because of the full 18-karat white gold bracelet, bezel, and case, it feels a treat in the hand with that weight, and it looks it too. This is an outstanding watch. It is a Y series serial number, so it dates from roughly 2002 and incorporates all the modern goodies that you expect in Day-Date, like automatic winding, full balance bridge to support the movement against shocks, COSC rating, double quickset capability. It's got about a 50-hour power reserve. Again, certified chronometer inside, solid gold on the outside. You can't get any better than that. So if you've been naughty this year and Santa's not going to be leaving you anything nice, take heart. Elves don't make Rolexes anyway. Get what you really want. Hook yourself up with this Rolex Day-Date in 18-karat white gold with a Meteorite dial, inset diamonds. Again, this is the ultimate power watch. This is timeless, and while Christmas comes one day a year, this is the gift that keeps on giving. And after all, the best gift is the one you give yourself. So let me follow up and finish up with the wrist shot. The in-demand wrist shot that I'm always asked to provide. 36 millimeters. It wears bigger. It has a lot more wrist presence than that because of the way the dial visually extends into the bezel, those two being a similar colored metal. The watch, I would say, visually looks closer to 40 or even 42 millimeters, but it fits nicely on an average size wrist. My wrist is 6 1/3 inches. That's roughly 16 centimeters for those using metric. Looks great, feels great. The bottom line is, mechanically, it is great. So if you're into the style of a one-off based on a Meteorite dial with inset diamonds and white gold, you want all the latest toys, and again, you may have just been a little bit on the naughty side this year. This is the Rolex Day-Date double quickset in 18-karat white gold with diamonds and a Meteorite dial, available with full box, papers, and accessory set from WatchYouWant.com. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.